What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of As Told by Gigi 101. So today is Tuesday, and you know what that means. You know what that means. I know you know what that means. It's time for another recap, review, whatever, for Pretty Little Liars. So I just need to put a disclaimer out there. I will never look together. I will never look put together in these videos because I always film them right after the episode, which is why you usually see them at about 11 o'clock at night. And I'm tired, and the last thing I'm trying to do is put on a full face of makeup just to wipe it off. She ain't about that life. So let's get right into this episode. So a lot of things happened in this episode. Before I get into the individual character summaries, which is what I normally do in these reviews for you guys, can we just talk about the intro though? Like, it was mad extra. I mean, I get why it happened. First of all, I'm still trying to figure out who in the H double hockey sticks is freaking charging this phone. Because I have yet to see these girls put this phone on a charger, and yet they've been playing it for like 3 episodes now. So who's charging the phone? Somebody buy me a vowel. I need to know. So the episode starts off with a baby crying. And of course, when the promo for that showed last episode, everybody was like, why is there a baby crying? In all honesty, I thought that it was something linked to Spencer. Like, oh, because you're adopted, you know, that now, almost like a psychological thing, like since you were adopted and you're finding out about having a new mother, it's almost like a rebirth for you. So I thought it was some sort of like poetic justice metaphor. But it was mad weird. So it just kept like crying, and Spencer put it in like a drawer, and that wasn't working, and basically she ends up calling all the girls, and when Hanna gets a hold of the phone, it stops crying. So they're like, why did it stop crying? Everybody's like,
I don't care, it stopped crying, that's all I need to know.
So they look at the phone, and basically it was like, come play with me, Hanna. So it was mad extra just to have Hanna come play the game. I wish I was cast as Pretty Little Liars as myself, because if I was asleep and my phone started crying like a baby, do you know what I would do to that phone? I wouldn't throw it against my wall. Oh no, because it is an iPhone 7 and I am on a pay-as-you-go plan, or whatever that plan is, pay to go with AT&T, and I ain't smashing this phone. However, my phone would get shut off, because these girls keep forgetting that these phones have a power button. So this leads into the episode. So it's Hanna's turn to play the game. She doesn't want to tell Caleb, and they all were together because she made page 1 of the Rosewood Daily, because the dress that the senator's daughter wanted to wear that she was very apprehensive about in last week's episode was a hit. And of course, with every good there's a negative. It's Pretty Little Liars. It's been 7 years. I think we already know this, right? So the negative was that somebody posted that it was stolen ideas. As we all know from last week's episode, Hanna was apprehensive because she had taken all of the suggestions from her former employer that she was doing the internship with, and she just didn't feel like it was her own, and against her better judgment, she just decided to go ahead and let homegirl wear the dress. So the reason why this is important is because Caleb, they start doing like a manhunt for who was like, you know, did all this, like who started this rumor, and basically it linked all back to one person. Guess who's back? Back again. Comment down below if you know what I'm about to say. Sydney's back. Tell your friends. Sydney's back. That's right, you guys. Sydney is back on Pretty Little Liars. And basically, as we'd seen her before, because she dropped off the note to Hanna and Caleb, I believe it was to Mona and Caleb episodes ago. But she's back, and come to find out, you know, that she was the one who videotaped them. And so that leads into Arya and Emily, because they were not really of importance in this episode at all. In fact, their whole entire job for this episode was to come in contact with Sydney, because Caleb gave them this doodad that once they got near her, they could connect to like her Ethernet or something in her phone. I don't even know if that makes sense. I'm not a techie. I'm a preschool teacher. So they did that, and Emily confronts her, and she's like, yeah, I'm trying to get away from Jenna, and I mean, it was a mistake, and we were young, da-da-da-da-da-da. And she was like, but the Radley, Caleb, and Mona. And she's all like, well, it was just a joke. I didn't think it was serious. Homegirl, were you not there for what has been going on since you've been on the show? I'm confused. How did you not know that this was not serious? What is anything a joke with Jenna? I think homegirl lying. So anyway, she gets the internet and they start to follow her. And that was Arya and Emily's whole job for the episode. At one point, they catch her off guard and was like, you're going to tell me who AD is? Arya thought that she was Slim Shady. Arya thought that she was Layla Ali, because she like grabbed the girl up, and like Arya's like all of 4'11". So I don't know how you grab this girl up, you short, but she did it. And she was like, I don't know who AD is. So that was the end of that. So that was really it for Emily and Arya. Allison was not in this episode. Spencer spent the whole entire day. Wow, I'm tired. Spencer spent the whole entire day with Officer Fury, aka Officer Fuego. If you're interested in that older man kind of thing, got it. You got it. You got it, Spencer. And he just got her mind off of everything that was going on. While that was happening, Yvonne and Toby got married in the hospital. Now, here's the thing. I am hardcore Spoby. I'm Spoby all day. I love Toby and Spencer together, and every time they showed Yvonne in the hospital this episode, I was just like, I low-key wish that she would just flatline. Let Toby and Spencer be together. They are supposed to be together. I mean, Toby became A for her. She joined the A team for him. Like, just let them be. Okay, they went through way more than any other teenage high school love affair. Just let them be. And you guys, even though I didn't speak it out loud, and even though it was already filmed months ago, I feel like I spoke it into fruition, because Yvonne flatlined. They did their I do's. Toby was talking about the future. She was looking kind of mer. And then the last thing he said to her was, are you happy? And she said, very breathy.
The happiest.
And then, just like in Selena, homegirl dropped the flower. Okay, she didn't drop the flower in Selena, she dropped the ring, but it was the same metaphor. And like, oh my gosh. Like, oh my gosh. So, while all those things were going on, Caleb is still trying to figure out, like, how the board game works, because, I forgot to mention this in the Hanna section. The phone rings for Hanna, and basically it was like, answer the door. The door is pounding. Hanna refuses to answer. I mean, I just want to know who was pounding on the door, because when they opened the door, it was this really weird, creepy doll of Hanna, and it was like a life-size, literally adult, my-size Hanna Barbie, and it played, and Caleb played it, and it said, it was like an operator sound, like, for your next instructions, follow the appendix. Now, I don't know if it was just me, and I'm pretty sure it was only me as far as Hanna, Caleb, and myself are concerned, because I was the only person to deduce with A's twisted mind that it meant the appendix of the doll, but they're all talking about, where's the instructions? And she's looking through appendix of different books, and I'm like, finally. So, basically, Caleb goes to Spencer's house, just breaks in, he just enters the house. And we know that he broke in based on Spencer's reaction when she saw him. So he just breaks into her house trying to mess with the board to see if he can figure it out. And she had this epiphany about operation, and she cut open the appendix of the doll and blood spewed out. So of course I want to know whose DNA is that, because that had to be somebody's DNA. There's no way that that was just fake blood. Not with A, AD, Uber A, demonic A's, Aria, whatever, okay? And basically it was like this mini dress. It was so small that it fit inside of like a sunglass Ziploc baggie. And it was a very short, provocative, Chinese, Japanese inspired kind of dress. And Hanna had a meeting with investors that were from Japan for her clothing line. And basically A wanted her to embarrass herself and lose her opportunity. And while she's panicking, she's like, can you please just fix this or whatever, just fix the freaking game. And so he goes to Spencer's house. Spencer walks in on it, and this is what he says. Not, oh, I'm sorry that I entered. Oh no, he doesn't say that. He goes,
Oh, hey, yeah, I thought I would be out by now.
excuse me? You just entered my home without my consent, and the only thing you can say is, oh, hey, I thought I'd be out by now. Y'all think this is a joke. If this was real life, homie would have gotten shot. He would have gotten hit with a bat, because, you know, in said cultures, homes, you know, we keep bats behind every door and behind the bed. Like and comment if you do the same. Just saying. So basically he decides that he wants to look under the houses, and while Spencer is talking about ordering food and about how, oh no, this isn't awkward at all, he lifts one of the houses and some kind of sprays up, and he gets rushed to the hospital, and because Spencer called 911, and then Hanna gets the phone call, and she doesn't make it to the meeting to embarrass herself, which obviously she doesn't care, because she wasn't going to put her job or her dreams above Caleb like she did the last time and almost lost him. So she went to the hospital, and, you know, everybody's there like, yo, is everything okay or whatever. She comes out, she's uber pissed at Spencer, and she's underlyingly been throwing jabs at Spencer, you know, basically like, it's not fair that you get the easier end of the stick. And like I said, I've been watching theories, and one of the theories was on Spencer. And even though I've been thinking this whole entire show, season 1 till present day, that Spencer is A or has something to do with A, this just kind of proves my theory and the theories that I've seen, because she was like, all you had to do was say hi to a friend. That's it. Everybody else has had to do something else. And I was like, everybody else, like who? Hanna, I get it that you're mad, but like, has anyone ever noticed that when Hanna gets mad, she really starts getting defensive and starts, well, you did this, and just tit for tat? Like, that be irking my soul about her. Like, girl, it is what it is. So Spencer's like, so Aria's like,
This is probably what the game wants, is that we start to argue, and it's supposed to be uneven, so that way we run off the trail of figuring out who A is, because we're so busy bickering.
So Spencer is like,
Look, whatever, I don't have time for this. I hope Caleb's okay. I'm gonna go say hi to Toby and Yvonne before, you know, I leave.
and Hannah's like, she turns to Aria and Spencer and like,
They're going to keep him on the oxygen machine for a little bit longer, then they're going to release him in about 2 hours. You guys can go.
and she walks away. Like, Hanna is always having a tantrum, and it really irks me, because it's just like, could you not? So as Spencer was going in to visit Yvonne and Toby, she sees the attendants pulling out a machine, and I think it was like a red flag for her, but she just wasn't really sure. And then Toby walks out, and she runs over to him, and he just falls, and she collapsed with him, almost like in West Side Story when Tony got shot and Maria just collapsed with him. It was so sad. And then Toby started crying, and then Spencer started crying, but we all know that Spencer was only crying because Toby was hurting. We all know she couldn't care less about Yvonne. You put on a front, We know you don't care, Spencer. We know. Okay? So it was just so sad, and like legit, I was like, and then that was the ending for them. But then you see Arya's on the phone leaving a voice message to Ezra, and as she's talking in the apartment, like this thin shadowy figure appears, and she's like, who's there? And nobody answers. It just keeps walking towards her. So homegirl grabs a butcher knife and turns on the light, and it ends up being Nicole. And then it ends. So you guys, I mean, I don't know. I personally believe that it is Spencer. And I have done a theories review, like a theories video, not a review, but a theories video before. However, I did see one thing in this episode that really confirms that I still believe Spencer has something to do with AD. But if you want me to do a full review on my thoughts and my theory about A, let me know in the comments down below, and I'd be more than happy to do that and give you more of like an updated reason why. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, or if you enjoyed me and you want to see more from me with a more beat presentable face and body, then you should definitely be part of the GG Meister Merpod and come swimming with us on all of our adventures. How might you do that, you're probably asking? Well, it's simple. All you have to do is rate, comment, subscribe, and share, because sharing is caring, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Loves and likes ya. Bye!